So after 48 consecutive hours of talking about the officiating, we can actually talk about a basketball game. And Stan Van Gundy is our esteemed guest this morning. I'll give you the first crack at this. Why is Golden State up 2-0 after last night's win?
Well, last night it was about one thing. They got 14 more shots than Houston did. Houston turned the ball over 17 times, and Golden State got 18 offensive rebounds. That was the difference in last night's game.
Well, no, I think the way the Warriors are playing right now, I think not having Boogie, and they're getting contributions from everyone, right? You know about the big three. You know about Draymond can do something. But when you're getting guys like Andre Iguodala shooting the ball well, we've already seen him with a Finals MVP. We know he can be impactful.
Sean, let's talk about the finger there also with Steph Curry. I mean, it didn't seem to affect him. Is that something, a dislocated? It's obviously not something I know. You're shooting the basketball. Did we expect that to be something that's going to impact him?
Non-shooting hand, I don't think it's going to impact him much going further. I mean, where it impacts him is on the catch. You know, because when you catch the ball and the jarring effect of receiving the ball. But I want to go back to what Richard just said. I thought Iguodala was outstanding last night. And it wasn't just about his offense. Defensively, their ability to switch, their ability to utilize length, put different people on James Harden. I think giving him those different looks causes some issues. And I thought the Warriors' buy-in at the defensive end of the floor, to Coach's point, of creating those turnovers, in particular in the first couple of possessions, were huge as far as dictating the tempo and the flow of the game.
So, Jalen, I'm going to turn to you. And, you sort of say something and duck. I'm going to say something and duck. The Houston Rockets have to win 4 out of 5 from a team that is a 2-time defending champion and one of the great teams of all time. Is this series over?
They're not going to win this series. It is not happening in any way, shape, or form. They will not win 4 out of 5 games versus the Golden State Warriors. I think they will win a game. The problem is when you're playing on the road, you need your best players to have signature performances. You can't have James Harden playing below his season averages, even though he did miss 11 minutes of the game. You need CP3 to have an outstanding game. He had a good game, not a great game. And the other thing is Draymond Green a lot of times can be a weak link as it relates to three-point shooting. But his activity has been terrific in this series so far. Iguodala scoring in double figures. So it's really tough to play against the Golden State Warriors when they're firing on all cylinders.
You know what? They're going home. Until somebody loses a home game, the series hasn't started. That's an old saying in the NBA, but I think it's true. Until the Warriors can go in there and beat them in Houston, this thing could be headed to 7 games.
But what do you make of what Jalen is talking about with Harden there, who does not have a signature game in this series, does not candidly have too many signature games in the postseason in his career? Here's a guy who might be the MVP of the league in consecutive seasons.
Well, like Jalen said, that's the issue with James Harden. We know how dominant he can be. And I always say, I don't really care too much about the regular season because when everyone has the same amount of rest, when everyone doesn't have to travel, when you have multiple days to prep for the same opponent, that's when you get to see who is really capable of excelling. And look, James Harden and Chris Paul last year in this postseason were amazing in the first 5 or 6 games, right? They were really, really amazing, and that's what they're going to need if they're going to try and get any of these victories.
Sean, is it over?
It's over. I'm going with what he said a couple days ago. Look, you said it.
That's what I said.
I agree with it. Who's beating this team 4 times in 5 games now? Nobody. And when you look at the way the Warriors are playing right now, the way they're moving, their effort, their energy level, their focus, their attention to the detail. Now, this is playoff time. This team is not judged by what they do in the regular season anymore. They're judged on one thing: are they going to win rings?
And it was very similar to last year in Game 1 of the Finals. When Cleveland had that great opportunity and Bron played that great game, then there was a mistake by JR, missed free throws by George Hill. All of a sudden, it felt like that was the moment to kind of get control of the series and get a battle. That's what it was in Game 1, so that's why I understand why they were frustrated.
To Richard's credit, he made that point after Game 1 here. He said this was Houston's game to steal, and they didn't get it done, and sometimes you don't get that second chance. The Cavs last year in the finals are a good example. Do you think that was the moment?
Absolutely. Game 1 was the one to get. Here's why. The Splash Brothers were both coming off ankle injuries.
Turnovers.
They elongated the Clippers series to 6 games. The Houston Rockets were there Friday night. Got a chance to settle in on Saturday, load up and play on game on Sunday. You got to find a way to get that game.
They had a chance to win that one a million different ways. Obviously, the 2-minute report, Steph Curry committed 10 fouls. And in one way or another, it is now all adds up to a 2-0 Warriors series lead. That's where we stand there.